Of course, just a review of marking your congruent statement. We're just going to match these up, of course. So it tells you in your congruent statement, it says angle Q matches up to angle Q. So I'm just going to put a single on those. And then in your congruent statements, the R's match up together. I'm going to put 2 on those. And then in your congruent statement, it tells you the P and the H. I'm going to do 3. And remember, these are the ones I said it's sometimes hard to grade, you know, because you might have maybe 2 congruent marks on the H, so then you would just have to make sure you have the 2 congruent marks on there. Okay, I'm going to do the sides next, so like QR, I'm going to put a single on QR. I'm just going to leave a single on that because QR matches up on the second one. I'm going to do QP with a double, and of course that corresponds to QH, and we got the third ones. So again, always a little difficult to check it because, of course, like maybe where I have 3, you have 2, that's totally fine. Just match them up and make sure. Now, distance formula, you know we keep using the distance formula. So here we go. I'm going to label. You don't have to label, but I am going to label.
After Sunday.
Okay. Sam, did you have a question?
I put my thing on your desk.
Why don't you wait until after the notes are done, and why don't you ask me if you can go to the restroom?
I haven't gone since like yesterday.
Sam.
3:23.
Not very good for you.
Wait, this
Time to go.
part. If I switch
Like,
the
no.
order.
If you think that's best for your education, why not? Lydia.
If I switch
I can be
the
overseas
order.
from Laura now.
So what do you have for the order?
If I have 12 minus 8 and then.
Yes, that's fine. I just want to make sure I was on the same wavelength as you, yes. Okay, punch this into your calculator and see what you get. And what does it say what to round to? We're just gonna go to 1 decimal place. 6.4 for the win, yeah. Like it. And you know we keep using distance formula, right? Okay, third one. Here's a good review one too. And again, you probably maybe noticed we're kind of sprinkling in what seems like some random review questions, but it's really kind of thinking about the final exam, getting ready for that. So write the equation line, pass this through that. Parallel, keyword, to x equals 12. Okay, first question, 50-50. What special type of line is x equals 12? Vertical or horizontal? Vertical. Good memory, Lydia. Now, to be parallel, we need another vertical. 2 vertical lines are going to be parallel. So it's going to be similar in style. So it's going to be the x equals. Ours has to go through this point, though. So x better equal what? -4. Done and done. So just a little quick reminder on how to do that. Just kind of some reminders of some things getting us ready, thinking about finals. Okay, here's what we're working on today. Now, don't panic. Do not panic. There are 5 of these shortcuts to show triangles are congruent. We're only doing 2 today. We're just going to list what all 5 are, and I'm going to explain all 5 in a second. Let me give you a minute to jot those down. We today are working on these guys, just for the record. Now, the S's, I think, are kind of self-explanatory, sort of the A's. It's the HL we kind of got to get into. So the S stands for sides. The A stands for angle. Now remember, when we first originally started talking about 2 triangles being congruent, it was a little obnoxious because we had to write out all 3 sets of sides were congruent and all 3 sets of angles. We had like 6 pieces of info and it just took forever. Well, these are some shortcuts. We do not have to show all 6 corresponding pieces are congruent. We got us some shortcuts. So of course, SAS, that means we're looking at side angle side. So we're going to cover this one today. SSS, if you ask me, that's my favorite. That's the easiest, side, side, side. So all 3 sets of sides. Now, we're going to get into AAS, angle, angle, side. So 2 sets of angles and a pair of sides. I'm going to do HL. I didn't forget about it. I'm just going to do it last. And then we're going to do angle, side, angle. All right. So I put those both in red because we're going to pair those up on a day together. And then the last one we'll get into, it's kind of the difference. It only works in a right triangle. The H stands for hypotenuse. Have you heard that word? So that's the longest side on a right triangle. Clearly, we're going to go over that in more detail. And the L stands for leg. So again, we're not to that one. We are working on the green ones today. The green ones, we're going to start with the 2 easiest ones. So let's just have honest talk here. every final reason on your proof today is either SSS or SAS. We just got to figure out which one. So let's start with side, 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 okay? So let's scroll it here. So side, side, side is just what it sounds. You're going to show me that all three sets of sides are congruent to each other. That's all we have to show. We don't have to do anything with the angles. Then I can say the triangles are congruent. So you do have to write down by the star here on your notes. That's the only thing you have to fill in down there on the blank. It is a shortcut proving two triangles are congruent because it's not all 6 pieces anymore. We just need 3. So let me give you a minute to write that in. Bless you. And let's flip the page when you're done with that and write our first proof of the day.
There are lots of proofs.
Yes, there are.
Yeah. Like over like 8.
There's not over 8, Hunter. Come on, we're not that mean. Well, we're not that mean. All right, so back to the proofs. Like I said, it is our last section of proofs, our last chapter of proofs. We're on the home stretch. Now, I really like this one because they give you a lot of good info in the give it. And they marked it for you on the picture. Segment AE is congruent to CE. AB congruent to CD. Oh boy, here's some good vocab for us. E is the midpoint. I'm going to abbreviate midpoint. I'm worried I'm going to run out of room. A DD.
We don't get the picture.
Okay. So, I know. I need you to sketch the picture. Like 2 of the pictures didn't copy onto your note packet. I was looking at it today. I'm like, why aren't these pictures on there? Like they're in my Word doc, but they didn't appear on your notes. So I do need you, I will give you a second to draw the picture. I do apologize for
Said
that.
2 or 3 lines.
Okay, so we're going to talk about, let's use this midpoint. E is the midpoint of BD. E is in the middle. So I know BE is congruent to ED. So that's going to be my next statement. BE. ED. And we have used this, a lot of times in here. That's just your definite midpoint. Like it. Okay, take a look at your picture really quickly. Do you have all 3 sets of sides congruent?
Yes.
Yes. Do I have all 3 pieces of congruency actually spelled out in my proof? I sure do. We're on the prove line. Done. Triangle EAB is congruent. Triangle ECD. And our reason is side, side, side. SSS. I mean, I know some of you hate proofs, and I'm never going to sell you on liking proofs. I get it, but I don't think that's too bad for a proof. Okay, I like that one. Questions on that guy? So we are going to do some more side, 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 but clearly they're pretty easy. Let's talk side, angle, side, so we can use some of those. So a little vocab here for you. If 2 sides in the included, you got to write that word on the blank, angle of one triangle are congruent to 2 sides and the included angle of a second, then the triangles are congruent. I'm going to scroll it up just a little bit so you can see the bottom there. We'll talk about the pictures. I love this stuff. So first thing we're going to talk about a little bit is that included angle, just to make sure we know what that is. But you can kind of see, I just think the included angle, it's the one in between the 2 sides. So when I look at this triangle, I was like, oh yeah, I got side, angle, side. I've got a side, an angle, and a side. So the angle has to be in between the 2 sides. So we are going to practice making sure we know which is the included angle. And of course, you get the theme of the day. You have to write that in. Shortcut to prove 2 triangles are congruent. That's what we're working on, are the shortcuts. So we don't have to do all 6 pieces. Ooh, nobody wants to write out all 6 sets of sides and the angles. That's a lot. Okay? So once you are done with that, flip the page. No proofs on the next page makes no sense. I'm not selling anybody on the love of proof, am I? All right. Thank you, Brayden. Ready? Okay. So let's just practice and talk about this included angle. I know we're being dramatic about it, but we want to make sure you know what it is. So of course you're filling in the red, the angle between the 2 sides. So maybe I have to write that. That's the only thing you have to write at the top. So like it says here underneath it, it says side AB and AC form angle 1. So angle 1 is your included angle. So the first thing we're going to do before we even get to guess more proof writing is just practice identifying the included angle. So that's what this picture is. Use the diagram to name the included angle between the sides. So I'm going to do number 1 in purple. So segment LM, got it, and LN. Okay, so my included angle is that guy right there. Now I can't unfortunately just say angle L. That's not very specific because there's a lot of vertexes there with L. I'm going to use the 3 letters. I'm going to call it angle M, L, N. All right, I'm going to do 2 in green. So 2, N-O, so that guy, and O-L. Got it. What's your included angle? I don't even need the 3 letters this time. I could just call it angle O, because O is the only vertex there. You could use the 3 letters, angle L-O-N, if you wanted, or switch it. It's Friday. We're tired. I'm just going to say angle O. Let me scroll it over here a little bit. All right, I'm going to do 3 in blue. O-N and L-N. Let's scroll it back. So, of course, my included angle, the angle in between there. Unfortunately, I can't just say N. N's on multiples. I'm going to call it angle O-N-L. I'm going to write it underneath. So I'm not off the screen. And you could have that scrambled. You could have angle L-N-O, remember. All right, final one. Side M-N and N-L. So again, I need the angle in between those 2 red sides. So that's why we can't just say angle N, because N's on multiple angles. I'm going to call it angle M-N-L. And again, you could have that reversed, L-N-M. So any questions on how to tell the included angle? Okay, so let's practice. I love these pictures. Determine if it's possible to prove each pair of triangles are congruent. So I'm thinking, do we have, the question is, do you have side, 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 or side, angle, side on these? Or neither of that could happen. All right, what do you think, A? Yeah, don't we have side, side, side on that guy? Got it. I mean, if you want to say yes, side, 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 get dramatic, I'm just going to say why. This one, I'm like, 2 pieces of congruency. But remember, we like to always still review stuff in. Guess what? You know it. These angles are congruent. Why? Vertical. So VACT is going to be in play again this chapter, just to warn you. Now, I'm looking at this and like, oh, we've got side, angle, side. We have SAS for these. So sometimes they don't have everything marked on the picture. They didn't mark those verticals, but you know it. Just like on C, they don't have everything marked in the picture. Because don't the 2 triangles share a side? Are those 2 triangles congruent? Yeah, side, side, side. I mean, so I don't want to say it's tricky, but sometimes they don't mark all the pieces. Yeah, I know these VACT angles are congruent. Is angle, angle, angle even a thing? No, that's not even a thing. No. So those would not be congruent. All right, 2 to go. What do you think about me? I like SAS for the first triangle. Because I'm like side, angle, side. Sure, I'm down with that. Is this one side, angle, side? No, wouldn't the included angle have to be that guy?
Yeah.
So since they got fancy and did not give you the included angle, this is a big fat no. So you got to be careful about that included angle. All right, what do we think on F? What's our thoughts? Side, angle, side, because we got our VACT angles, which are the included ones. I am with you.
Oh, what? You're gonna make us do all these?
Flip the page.
There's 4 of them in a row.
Are we ready?
No.
There's no
Okay, we're just going to do it. Z is the midpoint.
At least I doubt they're gonna be hard.
You get a teacher.
Q, Y. There's some stuff fluffy today. Now remember, we all know we have 2 choices today. It's either side, 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 or side, angle, side. So, I mean, you know, it does make your life a little easier. Now I'm going to first, of course, work off my key vocab. You've already told me midpoint, of course, is in the middle. So Z is the midpoint of XQ. So I know XQ is cut in half. And it says that Z is the midpoint of PY. I know PY is cut in half. So I'm gonna list those in a hot second. Let's keep marking on our picture though. What else is congruent in those pictures?
The angles.
Yeah, our vertical angles. So I can put that in. So quick, just decide, what's gonna be our final reason? SSS or SAS?
SAS.
SAS, we have side angle side on this one. So we already just made ourselves a game plan. I just gotta write it all out. So I'm gonna do it just in order. You can do it however order you want. I'm gonna do it in order I marked the things. So I'm gonna put XZ is congruent to ZQ. Now, because I marked those because of midpoint, I marked the other ones because of midpoint. So I can do them all in the same line. I don't need separate reasons. I'm gonna do YZ congruent to ZP. And if you wanna do them in separate lines, whatever. You don't have to because you have the same reason. That's definition of midpoint. Okay, so we got the sides in there, the S and the S. We saw the angles. Now, unfortunately, I can't say angle Z and angle Z. We got to be specific here. I'm going to call it XZY. And I'm going to call the other one PZQ. And again, you could have that reverse. You'd have YZX. You know that. And when you mark those, you guys told me they were vertical. So just take a quick glance. I'm going to scroll this up just a little bit. Take a quick glance. Do I have all three pieces of congruency listed in my proof?
Yes.
Yep, I'm ready for the final line. We're done. And of course, that was our SAS that we already had figured out over there. So the two things you really had to know for that one was midpoint, which, I mean, my goodness, we've done definition of midpoint, I feel like a million times in here. And then, of course, vertical angle, same thing. Any questions on that guy? All right, I better catch up. I see you guys already writing in the given on this one. Okay. All right, BC, congruent to DA, BC, parallel to AD. Okay, I haven't even looked at the picture, but I saw parallel, and I'm already thinking alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding, all those special pairs of angles from our parallel lines. Okay, now I'm going to actually look at the picture, I guess. Now, I mean, you can do this however you want. I always like to mark things on the picture first and figure out if it's SSS or SAS, and then I just, put all the pieces into my proof. So I see, of course, we've got the sides already. They marked the parallel. Well, man, I already am like, great, I like those parallel lines because guess what? I know those angles are congruent. What type of angles are those that I marked? Alternate interior. Okay, so I'm going to put that down. Also, another key thing is you have this common side between the two triangles. So I'm going to mark that guy. I'm like, oh yeah, I can tell you right now these triangles are congruent by side, angle, side. So I just have to mark all of these pieces in the proof, okay? Well, they already got the red tick marks, the BC, the DA. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to put in the green angles. Now, I wish I could say angle A and C, but you know the spiel on that. We got to get specific. I'm going to call it DAC. DAC. And I'm going to call the top one here BCA. Now we said we have alternate interior angles. And then we're going to see this. This is fairly common, to be honest with you, that shared side. A lot of times the triangles will be smushed together and they have that shared side. So I'm going to use that purple side, the AC, congruent to itself. It's on both triangles. Now, we've used it a little. You're going to see it more and more. What's the reason for that? Reflexive. There, I heard it. Now, you guys, I think we're pretty much there. Do I have all three pieces of congruency listed in the proof?
Yes.
Yeah, we're ready. Love it. ABC, congruent, triangle, CDA. And we already figured out earlier, this was an SAS one. Oh, listen to that. Something positive about proofs. I'm winning. All right, are you ready? 2 to go. I'm kind of sad we don't have more. Okay, so let's do this guy here. Okay, here we go. KL, congruent to NL. I'm going to be sad when we do our last proof of the year.
Right. It'll be okay.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. All right, so let's take a look. Of course, the given. I like the given. I like the given because they gave you 2 pieces of congruency, so I do like that. But there's no key vocab in the given, no like midpoint, bisect, anything like that. So I got to look at the picture. Now, we just talked about this. A lot of times they smash those 2 triangles together and they have a shared common side. I know right now what's going to be my final reason. Side, side, side. Now, I think we have ourselves a 3-step proof. Because the only pair of side we need to throw in there is the one I marked in green, the LM and the LM. So LM, congruent to LM. Reason? Reflexive. Okay, take a quick look. Do you have all 3 pieces of congruency? Yeah,
Yes.
we're ready. We're done. Love it. And we said this one was a side, side, side. Crushed it. Clearly, I'm going too slow because I see you guys already writing the given on the next one. No questions on this one? Oh, okay, all right, here we go. And the picture didn't copy on this one either, guys. You gotta copy the picture. I know, Debbie Downer. I'll probably have that done by the time I'm still writing the given. Let me scroll it over so you can see the whole picture. So sorry the picture didn't copy.
Yeah, like we don't have to write every single.
That's true. Could be worse. I appreciate the positivity. Okay. Have it drawn, we're ready. So of course the first thing I see in the given, the first keyword I'm reading, midpoint. So of course midpoint's in the middle, AD, so I know these guys are gonna be congruent. They told you those angles are right, they marked them. Are all right angles congruent? So I like that. And I noticed the 2 triangles are smashed together with the shared side. So is this going to be SSS or SAS? SAS. We just have to get all of this obviously written down, okay? Now it doesn't matter what order you list the pieces, we got to list them all. I did the purple, I marked the purple first, the midpoint stuff, so I'm going to start with that. So I'm going to say AD is congruent to BD. That's my depth of midpoint. Now, we've used this before. It has been a hot minute, though, I'll be honest with you. So, of course, we know that all right angles are congruent. So I'm going to say that those 2 angles are congruent, and then we'll see if we remember the reason. So depth of a right angle would be the angle equals 90 degrees. I think I heard it. I thought I heard it. Right angle congruency theorem. Racked. It's been a hot minute since we've used it. All right angles are congruent. Okay. So the last thing I have, I only have 2 pieces of congruency, so I know I don't have everything yet. I know I have to add one more thing. The last thing, of course, my shared side over here. So I'm going to put CB is congruent to CB. So there's my 3rd piece of congruency that I needed. That we know we're flexible. And we have all 3 pieces. We are ready for our prove line. And you guys already told me it was side angle side. I just got to write it all down. Got it. Any questions on that? I love it.